I do. I know these ones weren't playing in the last game for Team New York. All right, I'm going to get started. Which team do you want to introduce one of the teams? Good evening and welcome back to Skate Wars. We are about to start our game for 5th and 6th place in this tournament. One of these teams will be headed to 5th and 6th place. The other one will be headed to 7th and 8th place tomorrow in our last games. But for right now, we're going to watch Texas and New York battle it out for who can make it to that 5th place game. You've got me, Aria Kidding Me from Derby Date Night.
And Kent the Politician from Politics and Roller Derby, I guess.
So excited to announce with you today, Kent.
Yeah. No, this is, obviously I've been heavily involved in the Pennsylvania version of these types of tournaments. And Texas versus New York is, if not a championship bout, a semifinal bout. So these two teams have a lot of history that I've seen. But, of course, the rosters have rotated.
Yes, they definitely have.
Yeah. So, for New York, okay. So we're going to try to do a quick, we're going to get underway. So we'll do rosters at
a break of some sort, yeah. I'm really excited to be watching this game. Both of these teams have had a pretty difficult trip to get here. Texas was able to get here after a win versus Jersey yesterday, 322 to 116, followed by a win versus Montana, 354 to 122. And then this morning, in an amazing game, there was a loss versus Black Diaspora, 280 to 74, which has brought Texas here. For Team New York, they got here with a first-round bye, a win versus Flower Power, and then today a loss versus Michigan. And so these two teams are ready to fight back after two hard losses this morning.
New York is in purple, Texas is in white, and we are underway with Switchcraft jamming for New York.
And Arrakis for Texas.
And that is Switchcraft who gets first initial lead jam of the contest.
Arrakis was able to pass the pivot to Violent Viking, who will now be the jammer for Texas.
Switchcraft spun around by the Texas back, facing the jam line, calls it off, and we open with 2 or 3, it looks like 3 for New York, and 0 for Texas.
Very quick first jam of this game for them. These two teams have not met yet in this tournament. But as you said, they have a long history together. I'm sure they know each other very well.
Yeah. Well, and again, prior rosters, you know.
Things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
I know there's some skaters on New York who have come up from junior roller derby. I'm sure there are some on Texas as well. Jamming for Texas is Ramsey, and for New York is She-Devil.
And that is She-Devil, who is through, gets lead jam.
Ramsey in the back of the pack, trying to find some space, pulling the pack to the front, has 3 New York blockers to get past.
She-Devil from Queen City Roller Derby in Buffalo.
Ramsey has one last blocker, takes a hit to the inside. Nice hit there.
Really nice job by She-Devil finding the smallest of spaces going into the back straightaway coming out of turn 2. So New York off to a good start. Ramsey has advanced through the initial pass, so we'll see how quickly She-Devil calls it off.
And there's that call off.
Yep, on the ground from turn 3.
I love it when they can do a call off from the ground. It's such good awareness as you're falling to know where you're at and to just be able to call that jam off.
I believe that was Jay Swift, who is not pancake blocking She-Devil.
And that great defensive move over here in turn 2 was from the Hammer from Queen City Roller Derby, Team New York.
All right, so we've got Jag going up against Ukulele. There you go.
For Texas. Jag starting to pull that pack apart at the front. Getting some offensive help from the pivot to open up that inside line. Jag was able to get out on the outside to grab lead jammer for Team New York.
Yeah, that was Kill Valentine on the offensive assist there.
The star has been passed for Team Texas to Nancy, who will now be the jammer of record for Team Texas.
And she escapes the pack. Jag in the back of the pack makes the 4-point pass, takes a look at the bench and calls it off.
Beautiful one-footed glide there to just sail on through and grab those 4 points. Switchcraft on the line for New York and Eliminator for Texas. I was warned before this game that both these teams were going to have a fast game, and I can already tell it feels just fast. They're not going very far, but they're just everything they're doing is quick.
Yeah. Switchcraft pushed out on the inside, recycles back, and Texas and Eliminator get the first lead jam for them of the bout.
With a nice duck around the outside. Eliminator coming in for their first scoring pass. Sweets was able to get out as pivot for New York, took a star pass.
Yep.
Eliminator has scored 4 points now for Texas.
Yeah, Sweets now has it of Ithaca Roller Derby. Sweets does a nice job getting around the outside and staying in bounds.
Beautiful spin on the outside, 1 foot.
So if Sweets can complete this pass, that'll be, and she does, first scoring pass for New York on this jam, but second scoring pass for Eliminator in Texas.
Eliminator calls the jam after scoring 8 points for Texas to get Texas on the board. Blows a kiss to the adoring crowd.
We're all very adoring.
We're all adoring of all of these skaters. Honestly, they're just all so wonderful. It's been such a joy watching all of these skaters today.
Pandemonium Doll out in the pack currently for Texas. She just came off of the Fuego Latino bout.
Oh, she's double rostered.
So she has changed numbers and changed jerseys.
Wow, that is dedication.
Well, it's something.
She-Devil jamming for New York and Velocity Raptor for Texas. She-Devil is out as lead jammer for New York. Velocity Raptor calls the jam. I don't think she was able to grab all 4 points on that one. It looks like it was a scoreless one. Had to call that one off as New York was coming around pretty quick, chasing down Texas on that one.
Yeah, so again, we're headed into Jam 6, and barely 6 minutes have come off the clock, not even. And, of course, you have 30-second resets.
I don't know if the pack has made it a whole lap yet, in a jam.
So they did win Eliminator, went to 8.
Jag jamming for New York and Arrakis for Texas. Arrakis is lead jammer for Texas.
Oh, yeah, very quickly. Looked down at my score sheet, and Arrakis was past me.
Jag in the pack trying to find some space. Arrakis coming through on a first scoring pass. Jag is able to get out of the pack on their initial. Arrakis still struggling at the back of the pack trying to find some space.
Texas has lost 2 blockers during this jam, so we'll see if that has an impact. Well, so Arrakis calls it off. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I'm hearing whistles from other tracks. Arrakis has not called it off.
No, Arrakis might be waiting, trying to get the blockers out of that box. Jag is through for 4 points. Arrakis is through now for 12. Takes a look behind them at the box.
Right.
So I think they're trying to get their blockers out before calling it here. But Jag scoring another 4 points. Arrakis responding with 4 points.
Yeah, the pack just kind of
stationary.
Yeah, exactly. In turn 1. I'm sorry, in the front straightaway headed into turn 1. So, yeah, that was the longest jam that we've had. Because, again, my point that I was trying to make before they hurried up and did more things was we'd had 6 jams in 6 minutes, and with the 30-second reset, gives you an idea how fast those jams were going. So 22:30 remaining in the first half. New York has led throughout and currently leads by 4.
Leads by 4, but Texas was scoreless the first, I think, 3 jams and has really made a comeback in these last few jams.
Yeah, it was 12-0, and then it went with Eliminator getting them on the board. But this is Ramsey versus...
Ramsey is lead, or actually that's Switchcraft
That's
for New York.
Switchcraft.
Switchcraft is lead for New York. Ramsey jamming for Texas. Has that star off, might be looking for the pivot.
Yeah, Ramsey star in hand, and Switchcraft coming around
juking around Jackie Daniels to be able to get through for 4 points.
And the star has been passed
to Violet Viking, who will now be the jammer of record for Texas as Switchcraft comes into the pack to grab 4 more points.
Yeah, so 8 total, we think. Yep, 8 total for Switchcraft. So that is the biggest scoring jam of New York. (21-21) remaining in the first half. This is initially the matchup of 5 against 9 in the pre-tournament rankings. But again, as you mentioned, playing for 5th or 6th.
5th and 6th. So the winner of this game will go to the 5-6 game, and the loser will go to the 7-8 game.
She-Devil versus Eliminator. It was Eliminator who got Texas on the board with an 8 jam.
Eliminator pulling the pack to the front, has 2 blockers to get past for New York, but they are going to make it tough. A multiplayer getting called on one of the blockers helps Eliminator get through for lead jammer for Texas.
She-Devil just took a tough shot, but I mean, flinched as she went down, but then got right back up and made it through the pack.
Eliminator in the pack on a scoring pass is through for 4 points. Sees She-Devil coming, communicates with the pack, but does not call this jam off. She-Devil is through for 4 points. Eliminator looked like she was preparing for an apex jump and then juked over to the outside, grabbed 4 points, and called the jam. She really looked like she was going to jump and take off, but...
Yeah, she did. I saw the juke in the move outside, and she went untouched and then called it off. So, yeah, 2 Eliminator jams and 2 8-point scoring jams. So she's got 16 of the 28.
Ukulele is on the line for Texas. We've only got 8 points between these 2 teams now. With a pivot line start, Fifi jamming for New York. Ukulele almost out with lead jam, takes a huge hit to the inside. That blocker is actually headed to the penalty box, so on a no pass, no penalty, Ukulele will be out but will not be lead jammer.
Right, so Fifi had the opportunity but took the star off to get lead jammer designation.
So this will be a 2-minute jam because no one will be able to get lead jammer. Ukulele has gotten through for 4 points for New York. Fifi is still holding the star, has not been passed.
Yeah.
Ukulele, some toe stops up the outside line.
Kill Valentine is the pivot if if Fifi ends up passing it.
Oh, that pack's over on 3-4. That hasn't happened much this game so far.
There it is, way over there.
I know, they're so far away now. Ukulele fighting through the pack, trying to grab another 4 points, takes a hit to the outside, but was able to stay in and can get through for 4 points.
So we've got 45 seconds left, and the star was now passed to Kill Valentine of New York.
And it is currently a tie game. Kill Valentine has 39 seconds to try and score some points as Texas has just gotten the lead, I believe, with Ukulele. We'll find out once anybody gets out of the pack here. There it is. Kill Valentine actually taking the lead with getting 4 points for New York.
Yeah, 15 seconds left on the jam clock. Kill Valentine back in for another scoring pass. Ukulele finally not making progress after a very effective jam. But
very effective.
New York's got her locked down at the moment. But Kill Valentine makes the escape. So that may well maintain New York's lead, just that final pass.
Texas really had it, and then the speed just slowed. Something slowed Ukulele down those blockers from New York. Somehow they keyed into something, and they were able to hold Ukulele long enough to help Kill Valentine get through and score those 8 points for New York. I always love a good pivot points. Whenever a pivot can score points, those are always like worth double to me.
All right, so a timeout being taken by New York. Yeah, so that's our first double-digit scoring jam of the contest. It comes with Ukulele. And, yeah, New York became more effective with the star pass.
Yes, absolutely.
To Kill Valentine. So, yeah, because it looked like Ukulele was going to literally skate away with it.
Really? Yeah, I mean, that was like 2 different jams in one jam that just happened. As soon as the jammers switched, it was like something switched with everybody, and all of a sudden, Ukulele was struggling, and Kill Valentine was scoring those points. But it is still only a 5-point game.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Whew, I cannot believe we've had 9 jams. There's 17 minutes left in this first half, and there's been already so much derby played.
Again, New York got off to a 12-0, and Arrakis had a double-digit scoring jam, and Ukulele's had a double-digit scoring jam, if my score sheet's correct, and I'm not confident that it is, in part because things were just happening so quickly.
Right? It is. Every time we look away, something else has happened.
Well, yeah, like ports were being scored, and then the lineup was being changed.
All right, back to derby again.
Velocity Raptor for Texas. Not sure who the New York jammer is yet. New York seems to be going with a smaller jammer rotation, though.
Noticing that.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this is Jag, just based on the scorecard. Nope, Jag is the pivot. Switchcraft
jamming for New York. Switchcraft jammed a lot in their earlier game today. I noticed they were in that main jammer rotation and were very successful earlier today against Flower Power in the jam that I was calling.
Yeah, so Texas early on has a much broader jammer rotation than New York. This is only the second time that Raptor has jammed, and this is the 4th time, if my score sheet's correct, that Switchcraft has.
Velocity Raptor was able to get out of the pack and is approaching the pack. Switchcraft sees them coming and calls the jam before any points can be scored by Texas.
So, yeah, 2 for New York.
2 for New York. How many jammers has New York used so far?
It looks like only, 4, just because they put Fifi out there, but it's mostly Switchcraft, She-Devil, and Jag.
Yeah, much smaller rotation.
Yeah, and again, I'm waiting for Jag to come back because it's been She-Devil and Switchcraft. And this is She-Devil.
Yes, She-Devil and Arrakis for Texas, She-Devil for New York.
First time a jammer has jammed 3 times for New York is for Texas is Arrakis.
Yes.
She-Devil is through. And is fast.
Right. Arrakis finding space on the outside is through for Texas as She-Devil is approaching the pack on a scoring pass. Beautiful finding space on the outside, grabbing those 4 points and calling the jam. 4 more points for New York.
Yeah, so if I'm Freddie right now of Texas, I'm cursing as I roll back to the bench because Freddie thought they had a shot at She-Devil, and She-Devil just ducked and sped up, and Freddie missed.
Those bean dips are so effective because when a skater can get low like that, the only place you can really hit them is in the back. And hitting someone in the back is not allowed.
I don't think that's allowed.
No, it is not. And so any blocker that can get down that low with that beautiful bean dip, really, it's very hard to stop them once they're down.
All right, so we've got Shove Me 2 times now jamming for New York.
And Eliminator for Texas.
Yeah, so again, New York broadening slightly the jammer rotation.
Oh, we've got a power jam for New York as Eliminator is headed to the box. I didn't see what the penalty was for.
I didn't see it either. But this is the only time Eliminator hasn't been effective for Texas.
I think this is the first time we've had a power jam this game as well, yes? Which
I feel like we may have had one early on, but I'm not going to dispute that.
The jammers have been pretty low on penalties.
Yeah. Again, a lot happened really fast, and I think I'm fairly confident I missed some things. And anyway, Shove is through. Shove Me 2 times. Wearing number 2 is through. That is the...
Shove Me 2 times. This is the first time they've jammed.
Yes. Again, I've got one missing jam, sort of, on my scorecard, but I know, who was doing it. I just don't know what really happened.
Eliminator is back in the pack now. Not on a scoring pass. This is still their initial because they had not completed that initial pass when they went to the box. So now Eliminator is out of that initial and headed into the pack, but is not going to be able to score any points as Shove Me 2 Times is going to call that jam.
So it was a 5-point jam at about the 18-minute mark, and New York has put up 10 since then.
New York starting to settle in and focus on their strategy, starting to pull away a little tiny bit, but there's no such thing as pulling away right now in this game at all.
Yeah, ton of derby yet to go.
Ramsey jamming for Texas, pulling the pack to the front, takes a hit to the outside, but the skater who hit her out fell, which means she gets to keep going and becomes lead jammer. New York, meanwhile, stuck at the back of the pack as, never mind, Switchcraft coming out. Whenever I say they get stuck, they love to get out. So Switchcraft is out. Ramsey has scored 4 points for Texas.
And again, Texas with a very deep jammer rotation, and New York not so much. And again, New York's able to drop in jammers from time to time to try to, but yeah, it's mostly Switchcraft and She-Devil right now.
Texas choosing an interesting strategy here. Ramsey's going to run this jam having the lead jammer and is being successful, trusting her blockers to hold Switchcraft at the back of the pack.
And again, while Switchcraft now escapes, that is that's a point scoring pass. I'm sorry. I was going to say Switchcraft up until then hadn't scored.
Correct.
And had scored in every other jam that Switchcraft had jammed in.
And Ramsey calls it after scoring 4 more points, outscoring
12,
New York. So Texas scoring 12 in that last jam to New York's 4, bringing them within 7.
So one of the things that's interesting is, again, Texas more likely to be held scoreless, also more likely to have a double-digit scoring jam.
Yeah. Well, and I think the reason is because the jammers for Texas are choosing to run the jam. New York likes to hit it and quit it. They like to get a couple points and then call it and be done. Texas, when they're getting lead, they're keeping it going because they're trusting that they can hold New York. And it's been working for them, but Texas needs to continue getting lead.
Yeah, and She-Devil now back with Velocity Raptor. And Raptor close to,
beautiful little sneak around the outside by She-Devil. Being chased down by Raptor, though, about a quarter track behind.
Yeah, yes, the food chain in front of us. Raptor chasing She-Devil.
Right.
And the call-off, so yeah, Texas is going to be held scoreless. So again, that, as you pointed out, with a deeper jammer rotation, you can run it longer. Shorter jammer rotation, you want to call it so you get 30 seconds of rest. So you're actually on the track less time with more jams.
Yep, and that's why, if they were to start running it lots, they would have to have a deeper jammer rotation. So I'm interested to see how the strategy is going to play out for the rest of the game.
Official
review being called. No, official timeout being called, it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, I think we could probably introduce the teams since we're 20 minutes into the game and we haven't had a chance to breathe yet.
All right, so let me do New York. Number 02, Pinky Swears. Number 063, She-Devil. Number 08, Aaron Water Show, who I used to call for with the Chicago outfit. 09, Kill Valentine, who's the captain. 110, Switchcraft. 12-13, Fazera Brutal. Number 16, Sweets. 18, The Hammer. 2, Shove Me 2 Times. 248, Salt in Your Wound. 293, Rusty Fox Nation. 2150, Fifi. 2345, J Swift. 40, Chugs Brewski. Oh, and now we're gonna 7, Rocky Bonobo. 86, Jerk Beefy. 87, Little Orphan Sammy. 817 Jag, take it over.
Jag, speaking of, is jamming for New York, and Ukulele jamming for Texas. Ukulele is out as lead jammer for Texas. Jag finding some space on the outside to chase down Ukulele. Let's see if Texas is going to run this like we've been speculating.
Well, again, there's reason to take the 4-0 if you can get it, but they're not doing it.
No, they're
they
not.
had the opportunity there because there was about a half-track lead, and they didn't take it.
Yep. And Jag getting shoved to the outside, getting slowed down. Ukulele also getting pushed to the outside, but managing to stay in bounds, is continuing to work through things, and Jag is getting a penalty, which means this will be a power jam for Texas, as Jag will be waiting in the box for 30 seconds. Interesting strategy here. Ukulele still struggling. I believe has gotten those 4 points and has decided to call the jam with Jag in the penalty box to start this next jam as a power jam for Texas, a team that I still have not introduced you to because we have hardly paused at all.
Right.
But eventually, maybe at halftime we'll get to introduce you to Texas.
Well, I hope you will. And I was going to say, there was a delay in New York coming out, and I was wondering if we were going to get like you might be able to do it right then.
Nope.
Yeah, someone's going to take it.
Yeah.
So, it's Eliminator and Jag in the box, so a power jam start for Texas.
Yep, Eliminator is going to be trying to pull this pack to the front. Oh, that pack is all jumbled up. And that pack is starting to speed up. This is the fastest I've seen the pack at the beginning of a jam. And considering it's a power jam, that's interesting. But Eliminator is able to get through to become lead jammer. Jag out of the box.
So, Jag held up by Texas defenders in the back. Eliminator on her second scoring pass. So has 4 on the board already. And there's the jump.
That apex jump, and it's successful.
Yep, Eliminator lands the jump.
Beautiful job by Eliminator.
Yeah, we had a really good view of it when we saw it set up. So Jag now star in hand, but completes the initial pass.
We have had a lead change. Texas now in the lead. This has been a really successful power jam for Texas, starting with the power jam.
Yeah, Ukulele able to win the last jam 4-0, and Eliminator right now with 8-0. And again, that's how you can flip the scoreboard. But we'll see what Jag can get. And Jag has passed the star to kill Valentine.
Jackie Daniels with that hit out, but is being called on a forearm and will be sent to the penalty box. To join another Texas blocker. There are 2 Texas blockers in the penalty box and 1 New York.
So we might have a quick delay. The refs waved the medics onto the floor to take a look at a skater that they thought was in bad shape. Now the medics are going back. All right, so we're not going to have a delay. Arrakis in the meantime.
But
this is our first lead change.
We like to be really extra careful whenever anybody might have potentially injured themselves, and so we've got medics right here. We appreciate them and everything that they do for us. Now we've got that official
so why don't we do
introduce you to Texas.
Exactly.
We've got 07 Jackie Daniels, 112 Planet of the States, 113 Velocity Raptor, 12 Freddy, 1229 Juicebox, 127 Violent Viking, Captain 235 Guillotine Grace, 247 Mandatory Ass Kickin', 28 Buzzkiller, 3 Pandemonium Doll, 3037 Ukulele, 323 SoCal Menace, 333 Roxy Redding, 401 Ramsey, 7502 Scolivera, 826 Metallica Breath, 88 Eliminator, 89 Arrakis, 9512 Crushin' Curves, and 999 Nancy.
And Arrakis is underway and has lead jammer.
That was the cutest face. Arrakis was so surprised to be lead. Is being chased down by Switchcraft.
Switchcraft with the jump and landed it.
Was that a little spin too?
That was a bit of a spin. I think Switch anticipated the contact and was able to adjust to it.
Arrakis back in the pack on another scoring pass. Or sorry, Switchcraft back in the pack on another scoring pass. Arrakis.
Yeah, so again, go ahead.
Yeah.
But Arrakis had lead jam, but Switchcraft had taken
Switchcraft
over the points. Yep.
Interesting.
So you want your lead change? Well, it didn't happen.
So
but
close,
now
though.
the margin is 1.
Only 1 point between these two teams with 6 minutes left in this first half. And that's what can happen when you decide to run those jams longer. It doesn't always work out in your favor.
Right.
But more often than not, it has for Texas, which is why they hold the lead right now. But New York definitely not making it easy. She Devil on the line for New York and Ramsey for Texas.
Five and a half minutes to go. Surprisingly, we've played 20 seconds of Derby and we don't have a lead jammer yet.
Except
until
for She
now.
Devil with that little dip on the outside that She Devil does to get lead jammer. Beautiful. She Devil taking a hit to the inside. Ramsey swinging from side to side, trying the inside and outside. Has passed the star to Nancy, who will now be the jammer for Texas. Nancy's out of the pack. So is She Devil.
Yeah, She Devil's got 4 points. That was the initial pass for Texas. So again, if they hit it and quit it after this jam,
New York has been doing,
that would be a lead change. And that's what She Devil does as they go into the pack. So a total of 6
there we go
for
with
New
that
York.
lead change, and now New York has taken the lead. Is that like the third or fourth lead change?
Seconds.
On Derby Date Night, we have a button, and it does the boo, 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 boo sound every time there's a lead change, and I bother my husband with it.
Why?
It's a lot of fun.
Not sure who I should take up for in that argument.
I think you'd probably be on my husband's side on this one.
All right, so I'm just going to keep announcing roller derby. Jag versus Velocity Raptor. Nobody in the penalty box, so we've got an all skate, and of course we now then have a scrum right at the beginning because everybody's on the track.
Yeah,
Jag
this
in the
is
back.
slow.
Velocity Raptor has pushed the front line purple defenders to New York, almost to the pivot line, now pushed out. And it's a power jam. Track cut, I believe, the call on Velocity Raptor. So Jag has a power jam opportunity, 1 to beat. And yeah, Jag was getting bear hugged by Jackie Daniels, and Jackie Daniels will get a penalty for that.
But Jag will get out as lead jammer for New York, while Velocity Raptor waits to be released from the penalty box.
Not a lot of penalties. I mean, we're 27 minutes in. We've got one skater with 3 and one skater with 2 skaters with 2. So again, penalties certainly not a factor yet.
Velocity Raptor back in the pack, getting stuck behind a really strong New York tripod, trying to bust that tripod apart. I've seen this so much in this tournament, these really strong tripods. This tournament has been so defensively focused.
And Jag able to get through. Oh, but called for a track cut. So it is now a power jam opportunity. Jag sat down with about 28 seconds left.
Okay.
So we'll see how the penalty timing goes.
Yep, New York currently in the lead.
But yeah, may be able to get out of the box at the end of this jam because the jam's going to run the full 2.
Velocity Raptor grabbing 4 points for Texas, trying to challenge and change this lead again.
All right.
Maybe they like the lead change noise.
Right, 6, 5, 4, 3. We'll see if Velocity Raptor makes a full pass. So she won't make a full pass, so 3 points awarded to Raptor on that pass. But yeah,
but so
Jag was able to get some.
Yeah, Jag had some points in the pocket. When you go to the penalty box and you already have points, if you don't come back on the track and the jam ends, then you earn those points at the end of the jam. So that's where those 3 points from New York came from, to give New York the ability to maintain their lead of 1 point.
Right you are. All right. 1 minute, 45 seconds left on the period clock. Obviously, 2 minutes left on the jam clock. We're underway. Jag is out of the penalty box. And Kill Valentine wearing the stripe. So we'll see if a pass is made.
Ukulele is jamming for Texas. Jag finding some space.
Oh, that's got to be a penalty. Yeah, it's going to be a low block.
Taking a hit to the inside by number 12 from Texas, but Jag is able to keep going and grab lead jammer.
So I thought, yeah, so Freddie got a penalty, but is wearing the pivot stripe. So this is now a little bit of mayhem for Texas. And I think New York didn't realize what was going on with Texas, because they would have.
If they realized, they wouldn't have called that. Yeah, that was really interesting, because I think it was an illegal star pass, possibly.
Well, so there was a low block call on Freddie, but Freddie was wearing the pivot stripe. So then Ukulele tried to pass the star to Freddie, not knowing that Freddie had just been. Which is why Freddie dropped it. And Freddie's in the box right now wearing the stripe. But.
So luckily for Texas, New York didn't see that happen.
Well,
and New York called
there
it.
might be more.
Yeah,
there might be more
there's
talking.
An official review happening here.
I think that's what they call it. They call it talking.
Talking?
When the referees decide to get together and discuss things.
Talking?
Talking.
Discussing?
That too.
Yapping?
Not yapping.
Chatting?
Thankfully, I think we're going to get underway.
I can't think of any more synonyms, so I think we can just go back to Derby.
30 seconds remaining, and so yeah, She Devil out of nowhere is the lead jammer.
I love how She Devil just pops out of the pack from literally nowhere.
Yeah.
Eliminator is in very casually relaxed in the penalty box, waiting while She Devil is on her first scoring pass, has made it through for 4 points for Team New York.
So the period clock is done. So we are on jam time right now, and we've got 1:25 of jam time.
Eliminator standing in the box for Texas. She Devil finding the pack tough to get through, has scored 4 points, is on their second scoring pass, has completed that for 8 points. Eliminator coming out of the box makes it through on her initial.
Right. So yeah, She Devil coming in. We'll see how quickly she calls it. Yep, gets in and calls it.
And that is the end of the first half. New York 88, Texas 77. This is anybody's game, folks. What a fun first half. I'm going to drink some water in the next 10 minutes. Hope you do too, and we'll see you back in just a few minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and Derby fans across the universe, we have, if you're watching us right now, you see New York up 91-77. New York is in purple. Texas is in white. We're about a minute away from getting underway. And so one of the very interesting things that has happened is, and they changed the score.
Oh, what?
No, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. It's 91-77. It was an 11-point lead when we went to break, and now it is a 14-point lead. That also changes one of the interesting things that I was going to tell you, which is, again, so one of the things that we talked about early on was New York is running jams very quickly, and they do not have a deep jammer rotation. Texas is running them very long, which can lead to more points within jams because they have a deeper jammer rotation. There's only been one timeout called, which means both teams are fairly happy with how the benches are fairly happy with how the teams are executing the strategy. So here, let me show you how Texas has been effective in running jams long. They have 4 double-digit scoring jams to get them to their 77. They, however, have been held scoreless in 11 of those jams, whereas New York has only been held scoreless twice, and until they changed the count of the last jam, they had 0 double-digit scoring jams, but now She-Devil was given credit for an 11. And we're underway.
We are
Tell them
underway.
what we're watching.
Texas, Arrakis is lead jammer to start off this jam. Switchcraft is jamming for New York, continuing in that short jammer rotation. Switchcraft was one of the main jammers in this early game, and Arrakis coming through to grab 4 points. And I'm gonna guess we're gonna run this if we're gonna keep the rhythm from last time.
Right, because Arrakis has lead jam, so Texas is in control.
But Texas has now scored 4 points, so will not be scoreless. But Arrakis has now scored 8, double scoring.
And again, they're still running it. They have the chance right there to end it at an 8-4 victory in the jam, but they're running it.
Confident in their blockers. However, Switchcraft and Arrakis both able to get out.
So we're at 55 seconds left in the jam, and Arrakis, has lead jam designation and doesn't look to be even thinking about calling it.
Yeah. Really looking like a jammer who's the opposing jammer is stuck on their initial. However, Switchcraft has gone through and scored two different rotations.
So pushed out there, which is interesting because again, we'll see. So Arrakis gets an additional 4. Switch gets an additional 2. So that's 16-9. Again, a double-digit scoring jam for Texas that we've seen.
And Texas did outscore New York, so they have cut into that lead. New York hitting the century mark at 100. Texas behind by 7 at 93.
Yeah, and that jam ran over a minute. I think it was about 1:20.
She-Devil jamming for New York and Ramsey for Texas.
Yep, She-Devil, smallest of spaces, able to get by on the inside.
She-Devil has been really successful at getting lead jammer for New York.
New York's pack seems to just create some movement, and She-Devil finds it, and that's why we've seen her just emerge out of the pack.
Absolutely. And in a traditional New York style, She-Devil gets through after grabbing 4 points, keeping Texas scoreless.
Yep. Well, I'm glad we've completely figured out what both of these teams are doing.
I know. Usually I go through a game and I have no idea.
And now we'll just see whether or not we're right.
Right, yeah. Now we're just confirming our theory in the second half as we watch this game continue to unfold as a super close game. No surprise between these two powerhouse states.
Yeah, 11 points separating these two teams at this moment. We're starting the third jam with Eliminator and Jag. And again, this is how New York started.
Jag coming out with that lead jam for New York. Eliminator trying to find space on the inside.
Yeah, and Jag's already on a scoring pass. Eliminator's got to recycle back behind Kill Valentine. Kill wearing the stripe.
Jag finding space on the inside, but a blocker finds her, and Jag gets pushed to the inside, apologizes to the ref quickly. Appreciate the politeness.
Right, I saw that.
Eliminator is through on her initial, so will be eligible to score points. Let's see if Jag is going to notice that Eliminator is coming and call it to keep Texas scoreless.
Kill just tapped her hips, and I think Jag was looking at Kill also.
Interesting. They're communicating with each other.
And again, if that's the strategy that the teams, and I think it is,
yes,
it makes sense for your teammates to be like, it's time to stop the jam.
That brings New York to 107. They were able to grab 3 points in that jam to Texas's 0.
There's a Chinese spy balloon now floating throughout Lansing Center.
It either says 16 or 18 on that balloon, so I'm
guessing
it's somebody's birthday or derby anniversary.
Well, it motivated Ukulele
to get lead jam for Texas,
right.
And Switchcraft. Did Switchcraft pass the start
She
super
did.
fast to Kill Valentine?
Yep. Switch has passed it to Kill. I was gonna say to you, but I started to watch Kill. I'm gonna start watching the New York pivots, and because Kill is out there a ton.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna sort of start keeping track of how often I see Kill Valentine as the pivot.
Especially against Ukulele as the jammer.
Oh, Kill down, slow to get up, meaning Kill Valentine. Oh, that was a big hit.
Kill Valentine recycling at the back of the pack. Ukulele has made it through 2 scoring passes.
And again, this is Texas running it.
Yep. And through for 4 points for Ukulele and Texas. New York has scored 4 points.
Another double-digit scoring jam for Texas because they're running it.
So interesting. Both jammers stuck in this pack. Texas still lead. Not calling it as we've discovered.
Right.
Kill Valentine stuck at the back. Ukulele pulling it to the front and is through for 4 more points, bringing Texas to 16 as Kill Valentine is pulled to the back.
Good defense by the captain, Guillotine Grace, pushing out Kill Valentine. And again, Ukulele coming around on a second. And again, look at the size of the Texas pack that Kill is going up against. The New York pack a little smaller.
Yes. I'm noticing that. This tripod that Kill is stuck in.
Yeah, Jackie
led by Captain Guillotine, Jackie Daniels. They have done a great job holding Kill Valentine for that entire jam. Who was that third blocker there? 826 for Texas. Metallica Breath. Those 3 together made it very difficult for Kill to get through.
Biggest scoring jam of the contest as Ukulele puts up a 20-point jam to take this within 1 point.
Oh, we're within 1 point again. Woo. I'm getting my nervous voice now.
Very nice. She Devil. Stop me if you've heard this before. She Devil. Let's see if she gets it. Going up against Velocity Raptor. This is the first time Raptor is jammed in the second half.
Stops.
She Devil held up in the pack, now through, but again, Velocity has lead jam. We'll see what she does. Meaning we're anticipating. Oh, holy smoke!
Huge hit.
But again, you could have called it right there.
Right?
You've got points. You're on your ass, respectfully.
Yeah. And you know that
you
She-Devil's
just
coming.
got leveled, and she doesn't call it.
Nope, she did not. That was a great hit by that New York blocker, but also great recovery by Velocity, who has now going through the pack on a second scoring pass. She Devil on their first scoring pass. I know has some points in the pocket, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, She Devil's definitely scored some and now escapes, but this is third scoring pass for Velocity Raptor. So again, this will be another double-digit scoring jam.
For Texas,
and calls
also
it.
a lead change for Texas.
Likely,
I won't make the noise this time. But now Texas taking the lead by 7 points. Wow.
22 minutes. New York huddling. This might be a timeout.
Yep, looks like.
See? There's the timeout.
New York calling a timeout. So what have you been noticing in these jams at the beginning of this second half?
Well, I mean, I think...
Pretty similar?
We're seeing what we're seeing, which is... And again, so there's been... the Texas storyline continues with perfect examples. There's been 5 jams so far, 3 of them double-digit scoring jams, 2 of them they didn't score at all. And so what's that? That is New York doing the hit it and quit it.
But when they did score, it was a lot.
And New York has scored every jam.
Yes.
So again, not held scoreless. But but Texas choosing to run.
Yeah, and that was interesting. That that last jam, I think, was who was the jammer for Texas on that last jam?
Raptor.
Raptor against She-Devil. That was interesting because She-Devil usually is able to duck around and get through to grab lead jammers. She-Devil's been getting lead jammers so often.
Right.
And Velocity Raptor was able to find that space and get out, and She-Devil struggled a little bit more in that one than I've seen earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Looks like that timeout is coming to an end.
Jag and Arrakis, the 2 jammers of record, under 22 minutes to play.
Jag trying to pull that pack to the front. Arrakis getting involved in a little bit of a scrummy start there, but finding space on the outside to get lead jammer for Texas. Jag spinning beautifully around Pandemonium Doll to get out. Pandemonium with a little, oh, that was good towards Jag.
And again, so I'm going to start keeping track of Kill Valentine wearing the stripe. 22 minutes to go, she's wearing the stripe here. And again, I'm just going to kind of keep track of this.
Arrakis up on those toe stops to stay in bounds.
Pandemonium Doll goes to the, and so 2 Texas blockers in the box. That helps get Jag through. So again, Texas is not scoreless. I'm sorry, New York is not scoreless. Neither is Texas, though.
Nope, they both got 4 points, but Jag's currently in front. Arrakis still looking confident and does not appear to be thinking about calling it.
Right.
It takes a lot for a jammer to have that much confidence in their blockers, especially when there's only a couple out there.
Right, that's the thing. Texas was in the box. But Arrakis able to get past the New York defenders. Jag now struggling. Jag is the other New York skater that's worn the stripe.
Yes.
So.
But Jag is also jammed a whole lot.
Yeah, she's the 3rd most frequent jammer behind Switchcraft and She-Devil.
That pack is stopped.
Right. And
no one is moving.
A track cut has been called just because
on Arrakis.
I was going to say, I saw the referee signal, but I didn't know who that was on.
Jag
so again,
this
will allow New York to put either Switch or She-Devil out for the beginning of the jam. And how many points do we have a lead change again?
We do have another lead change. Not a lead change, right? Texas was already ahead, but Texas maintains that lead, extends it by 2 points, 135 to 126. But New York is going to start with a power jam of at least 20 seconds because Arrakis is not standing yet. So it's going to be an interesting, maybe not 10, something over 10 seconds.
All right, so Kill Valentine wearing the stripe again.
And Switchcraft jamming for New York. Surprised they put Switchcraft out on that one. I thought but Switchcraft isn't. Switchcraft is like, no, I got this, don't you worry, and is out as lead jammer for New York. Arrakis is back in the pack with that star in hand. Arrakis with tiptoes on the outside line. Takes a hit from
the Hammer.
Lovely name. The
Appropriate.
Hammer. Appropriate.
And Arrakis again not able to get through the pack.
Yeah.
Switch coming around.
Arrakis has been really successful on that outside line today.
And again, Switch doesn't want to call it because Arrakis is still on the initial pass.
Yes.
So this is a time where Switch will run it because again, until Arrakis has to make the full trip, you're still tallying points.
Yep, absolutely.
And Switch is through.
Beautiful, finding that space on the outside. Texas comes in to provide some offense. That star went to the ground. Oh, did you hear that hit from Arrakis? The hit on Arrakis it hurt us. Switchcraft through for another 4 points.
And that's the second double-digit scoring jam for New York. meaning this hasn't been their style. But now that Arrakis is out, Switch is going to try to make one more, but we'll call it immediately.
Arrakis actually
my guess.
passed the star to Juicebox. So
But-
Juicebox.
And there's the call.
Yep.
Oh, but a penalty.
No call because of a penalty.
Holy cow.
To Switchcraft. So now Juicebox, who is not jammed yet, is going to be the jammer for Texas for the next 15 seconds.
And Texas will have a power jam start unless there's a jammer penalty, because Switch got in right at about
did you
20
see
seconds.
The hammer hit out Juicebox?
I did.
So beautifully. Great job, Juicebox. As a former pivot, I salute you because I know what it feels like to take the star and the other jammer goes to the box. And now, guess what? You get to be the jammer in a power jam.
So until they added points to the Texas total, it was a lead change, and then they got an extra 4.
I think they were headed towards a lead change if New York had been able to call that jam off like they wanted
Right.
to.
Well, they wanted to. Right. That
So
was
it was that
exactly what.
penalty.
That was exactly what. Because I saw her try to call it. Switch try to call it off.
Otherwise, New York would be in the lead right now.
Right. So we're under 17 minutes to play. Ramsey is the jammer for Texas. Switchcraft the jammer again for New York after having run a fairly long. I don't think Switch is going to be.
No, Switch is not
Right,
lead.
right.
It
was a no pass, no penalty. So Wilson and Kill Valentine again
pivot.
wearing the pivot. Third jam in a row. Now going to the box.
Ramsey
Star passed.
passed the start of Nancy.
So we're going to run a full 2.
Yes, we are. Nobody can be lead jammer in this jam, so we've got over a minute left. Nancy coming around on a first scoring pass here. Switchcraft is at the front of the pack, taking a second to reset as she is stuck in this tripod of Texas blockers.
And again, Switch ran it fairly long the last time and is now out there for 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So again, this is sort of not the way that New York wants to play it because
No.
again, they don't have a deep jammer rotation. Now, yeah, you got 30 seconds of rest there.
And now you're fighting for an entire 2 minutes.
Right.
Switchcraft is going to be tired after this jam, but is able to get through for 4 points
And
for
as-
New York.
right,
Oh, wait,
as soon
is
as
that the initial? No, that's 4 points.
Yeah, as we were burying Switchcraft, she got out of the pack and scored points.
I love doing that when we say they can't get out, and now Switchcraft is like, here's another 4 points
Right.
for you. And
Right.
that could be a lead change.
Yeah, New York's on their way to a double-digit scoring jam.
Nancy's still in the pack trying to get out to score some points for Texas in this jam. Switchcraft got another 4 points on the board for New York.
And again, here's what's interesting. Until the very last jam of the first half, New York had no double-digit scoring jams. Then they got one in the final when they added 3 points.
Well, Nancy took a star pass.
Switchcraft has now done 2 back-to-back double-digit scoring jams for New York, which is not how they want to score their points. Now Texas asking for a timeout. First time Texas will be asking for a timeout, so they need to reset.
Yep. Well, that was a tough jam for Nancy, too. Nancy, who went out there as a pivot, took that star pass, not intending to be the jammer for the entire jam.
Exactly.
And so that was a really hard jam for both of those jammers out there.
Well, and again, what's interesting, Texas takes the timeout when we were wondering about how tired New York was. So New York may have just gotten a break with that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And we've got one blocker in the box for Texas. So this next jam will start with a 4-3 pack advantage for New York. I feel like I need a break after all that. This game is going so fast. I talk quickly, but I usually don't have to talk this quickly. Woo.
All right, so I'm looking. So I'm looking. No, I'm looking at the scoreboard. We saw Texas gesture for the timeout. I think the scoreboard made a mistake.
Oh, really?
Because we see that Texas does not have a timeout off the board, and New York has 2.
Yeah, so there should be a Texas timeout.
You're right. So both teams should have 2 and the official review.
So this timeout has now turned into an official timeout. Well, while we
somehow, because it's past the 1 minute mark. Yeah, do that.
Well, we've got this official timeout. We would like to thank our sponsors here on Track 2. The streaming is sponsored by Rydell.
All right, so that's our second lead change. We had 2 lead changes in the first half, and this is our second lead change at the 14:34 mark. Interesting that She-Devil. Oh yeah, She-Devil's already out there wearing the star for New York. We don't know what Texas is doing, and frankly, this seems to be. Oh no, it was a conversation with maybe the head ref and the 2 captains and coaches.
Yeah, looks like it. But it seems like we're going to be getting back to the Derby. I don't think they fixed the scoreboard still.
Yes, I believe the timeouts on the scoreboard are incorrect. Both teams should have 2. She-Devil now jamming against Eliminator, and She-Devil is through. Took her 8 seconds.
I love watching She-Devil get lead.
And Eliminator's going to the box.
Oh, this is going to be a power jam for New York.
And who's the pivot for New York?
Oh, you want to say? No, it's 16.
It's Sweets. All right, so Sweets.
She-Devil got pushed to the outside and is back in the pack trying to take advantage of this power jam for New York. That pack sped up as soon as that power jam started, and I see that it's still going pretty fast, which is surprising for a power jam when usually things slow down.
Yeah, and now Texas is stopped. And again, I don't know if that's really the right strategy. I mean, unless they've got a player blocked behind and we can't see it. Well, okay, now Eliminator coming out of the box. So New York's playing defense.
Eliminator still on her initial, so She-Devil will probably not call it here as She-Devil can score points. Eliminator now out of the pack and will be eligible to score if She-Devil does not call it.
Yeah, so She-Devil just wants to, and there's the call off as Eliminator gets close.
So another scoreless jam for Texas, which is New York's strategy, is to try and keep Texas scoreless. 7 points for New York. And we're getting ready for another jam with an empty penalty box. No, not empty. I think I see a New York blocker is standing in the penalty box.
Yeah.
So we'll have a 4-3 pack advantage, Texas.
Well, and there's a New York blocker behind the blocker that's standing. So it is a 4-2 pack in favor of Texas as we get underway. Yep,
you're correct.
So now it's 4-3, but this is Velocity. No, it's Pandemonium Doll. No, it's Velociraptor. Scoreboard's wrong.
Okay.
It is Velociraptor.
And Fifi is jamming for New York
and
in
Kill
the back.
Valentine's wearing the stripe.
Velociraptor just has one more blocker to get past from New York. Great job there by Fuerza Brutal to hold Velociraptor, but was not able to hold long enough, and Velociraptor will be lead jammer.
Yeah, so this is the second time Fifi is jammed in the contest. And the last time was at about the 17-minute mark of the first half.
Fifi is through. Velociraptor is in the pack, trying to pull that pack forward to the front as Fifi is approaching the pack on a first scoring pass. These 2 teams are playing 2 different games. They both want each other to play their game.
Right. Pandemonium Doll is out there, but is wearing the stripe and is jammed before, so it'll be interesting to see if there is a star pass in that respect. Oh. Big hit. That was Chugs Burkowski of Gotham dropping Velociraptor on the inside. And
Fifi is through for 4 points. Velociraptor is still lead jammer and has not called this jam.
Right. And Fifi now pushed out, points called as Fifi was coming around.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she got all 4 there. Yep, it looks like she did.
Yeah.
So that was a 4-4, very long jam.
Yep. So that was the one time that they got lead and it didn't work for them.
Yes.
At least that would be my assessment, that it didn't work for them. 1040, Switchcraft, and I don't know who.
Ukulele.
There you go.
Ukulele up on those toe stops. Switchcraft taking a hit to the outside. Ukulele pulling the pack to the front. Jag is leading a duo of blockers. Nancy coming in with the offense to try and help Ukulele and does so. Texas has lead jammer.
And Switch is out. Is Switch out? No, not yet.
Almost.
Switch is now out.
Pretty little turn on that outside line as Ukulele approaches the pack on their first scoring pass.
Ukulele had the 20-point jam, but now calls it off.
Interesting. I wonder, okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Because, again, that's not their form.
No, they like to run it, but this time it was important for them to call it.
And,
I wonder.
And again, you have Switchcraft out there, and previously you had Switchcraft out there for like 2 long jams.
Yes.
So, now you're putting She-Devil out, who's probably got fresher legs. Again, curious that they, switched up there. But that was a scoreless jam for New York.
Arrakis for Texas and She-Devil for New York. Arrakis avoids a big hit, but gets pushed a little bit out. I didn't see Arrakis get pushed out there, but Arrakis is going to recycle to let She-Devil. So, Arrakis did get pushed out because that's why she went back. So She-Devil's going to be lead for New York.
Right. Yeah, it was a very extended deceleration for Arrakis.
Yeah.
And when she came back in the ref lane, I thought maybe it was a penalty, but the referee was not indicating a penalty.
Yeah. So I think there's something that we maybe didn't see. She-Devil getting stuck in that pack, trying to break those blockers apart. And as is tradition, we'll call that jam off before Texas can score any points. I don't think New York got all 4 there.
And Rusty was the pivot. Kill's now coming back out as the pivot for New York. Kill Valentine. In case I'm speaking in code and losing some of the audience when I'm doing
Ramsey jamming for Texas, and Jag. Jag hasn't been on the line for a while for New York.
Jag this is the 3rd time Jag is jammed.
In the second half?
In the second half. So, yeah, Jag is the jammer of 3rd rotation. And again, Kill out there.
Everybody out on the track, focused on defense, going to make it hard on these jammers as Ramsey's pulling that pack to the front, gets around. Pinky swears to grab lead jammer for Texas. That star comes off immediately from Jag, who might be looking for Kill Valentine, as Ramsey comes around on a first scoring pass.
And Jag now with 1 to beat. It's Pandemonium Doll, and Jag is through. And again, so all focus on Ramsey right in front of us. Jag and the call off as Jag was getting close. Well, and again, you're behind if you're Texas.
Yes.
So to a certain extent, you just are trying to close the gap. So maybe they've altered the strategy because they're behind.
That might be it. And also that penalty box is empty. I've noticed they run it as well when that penalty box has some of their players in it. So that could be part of this as well.
So we're about 7 minutes left. Kill Valentine, not the pivot. That is She-Devil, the jammer.
13 points between these 2 teams. Switchcraft jamming for New York. Eliminator for Texas.
Yeah.
Eliminator dealing with a great tripod from New York. Holding an Eliminator. Penalty being called on one of those blockers, which allows Eliminator to get through as lead jammer for Texas.
And that was Fifi, who was wearing the stripe that time.
Switchcraft able to get out on their initial. Eliminator approaching the pack, swinging to the outside, takes a huge hit and manages somehow by magic to stay in bounds.
It's like she knew it was coming and adjusted her sort of body orientation so she could absorb the contact and stay up.
I'm not a physics professor, but I bet it was physics.
It has to be.
Switchcraft took a hit to the outside and is struggling to make it through. I think Switchcraft is on a scoring pass, right? Their first scoring pass. I think they completed their
points
initial.
go up now.
Eliminator is in the pack on their 3rd scoring pass. Definitely making a dent in this lead that New York has established. Yes, Switchcraft did score 4 points. Eliminator coming out into the pack on a 4th scoring pass through for 16 points for Texas.
Switch is through. But again, how long does this jam feel?
30 seconds left in this jam, but it already feels long.
And there's the call off.
That's the first long jam in a while. And it was really successful for Texas, who outscored New York by 6 points, 17-11, to bring their total to 174. I'm not great at math. Hold on. 7-point game.
7-point game. Yep. 5 minutes, 17 seconds. Somebody has taken a timeout or an official review.
I can't read that
so
far.
It's New York. So New York has asked for the official review based on the scoreboard. Again, I think the scoreboard has missed the Texas timeout.
I think so too.
But New York is the one that's talking right now, so I do think that New York has initiated that official review. All right.
So it looks like it is an official review as the beautiful dazzle of zebras goes to discuss whatever is being reviewed. Did you know a group of zebras is a dazzle?
No.
Yes, it is. And that is a dazzling group of NSOs and skating officials that we have out there volunteering for us. We appreciate all the time and hard work that they do to help us play roller derby, and we give a big extra special shout out to them. They will be working 52 games total this weekend and have a wonderful crew of people that we really appreciate.
Yeah, that's a ton.
Right? So many games. And we have a crew of, I think, 18 announcers who are working the 52 games, both on stream and in-house. And we've got medics who are working all of these games. I mean, the amount of people it's taking to put on this tournament is just crazy. And it's just so wonderful. And the vibes have been just so friendly and positive this whole weekend. It's just been a delight to see the roller derby community engaging and having fun and cheering each other on.
Right, you are. All right, so let's do a bit of a game reset because, again, this is an extended official review at this point. So Texas led. I'm sorry. let's do an accurate game reset. New York led for the first 21 minutes of roller derby action, and then Eliminator on a double-digit scoring jam flipped the scoreboard, 66-61 for Texas. They held it for 2 jams. And then New York took the lead back. New York held the lead until about the 15-minute mark, where Texas flipped it, Arrakis on an 8-point jam. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was before that. It was at the 21:57 mark. Velociraptor flipped it with a 12-point jam. So then Texas led until about the 14:34 mark when Switchcraft put up a 16-point jam. And that was right after Switchcraft had put up a 14-point jam. So yeah, Switchcraft scores 30 points between 2 jams to take the lead back. During those 2 jams, Texas only scored 12.
And I'm trying to figure out who it is that the winner of this game will be playing. Give me just a second. They're going to be playing the winner of 37 will play the winner of 38. So at 7:45, California will be playing Jewish Roller Derby on track 3. So the winner of this game will play the winner of that game for 5th place tomorrow.
Interesting. Yeah, so I've seen both Jewish Roller Derby and California, and these are 2 different styles of roller derby play, but let's not talk about that one. Let's talk about this one. She-Devil, Velocity Raptor, 7 points separate these 2 teams. 5 minutes of roller derby action. We think Texas has 2 timeouts and New York has 2 timeouts, but that's not what the scoreboard indicates. It indicates Texas has 3, New York has 1. Velociraptor going up against, among others, the Hammer, aptly named, and is pushed out but gets back in.
Velocity Raptor trying to find some space, looking at her teammate, the pivot from Texas, for some help.
And She-Devil being locked down by a 3-wall of Jackie Daniels Guillotine Grace.
We are almost a whole minute into this jam, and these everyone is just so focused right now on defense.
I think it is Violet Viking is the other one in the Texas pack.
Beautiful work by everyone here.
It is Violet
She-Devil
Viking.
finds that space and is out as lead jammer for New York.
Wow. And it took her a minute 5 to get there, but she got there. Sweets is wearing the pivot again. I'm sorry, go ahead.
She-Devil in the pack on a first scoring pass, getting stuck between two Texas blockers.
Down goes She-Devil, but gets back up. Again, I think She-Devil is trying to complete the pass.
I would not be surprised if New York does try to run it a little bit here now that they have that lead. They have lead. Velocity Raptor is still on her initial, is just slowly like moving through honey and like it is so slow.
Yeah, and again, 9 seconds, 8 seconds on the jam clock. This one's going to run the full 2. So She-Devil will probably get some points because she's been dealing with the pack. So we'll see how many She-Devil gets awarded. 3? 2.
That was a very hard-earned 2 points for She-Devil and New York. Wow.
And again, if you're Texas, you've scored double-digit scoring jams. That's your MO. So it's not, all right, official review being requested by New York. And again, that was one of their 2 timeouts. They're not, they are, okay, they are coming out.
We are within 9 points of each other.
It's not necessarily in New York's best interest to stop the clock.
No, I don't think so. They've got some momentum going right now.
But again, if you saw something and you feel like you can improve your victory chances by getting a decision,
absolutely.
Pinky Swears is pointing at turn 3, turn 4. So obviously I think they think that something happened over there. And now they've made their case. The deliberations of the 9 justices will take place. And 40 years of precedent will probably be thrown out the window again. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm talking about something else. But it looks like when we get underway, it'll be Arrakis versus Switchcraft. New York leading by 9.
It just takes one lead jam with Texas. The question I have, though, is if Texas gets lead, are they going to run it? Because I think they see that the clock is winding down here, and so is it in their best interest to try and grab those points or to run it?
Well, so if you get a power jam, you run it.
Of course.
But if not, you've got timeouts, but you're almost out of time to use your timeouts. Because, again, you've got to run the jam. You got to get the points. That's 2 passes.
Yes.
So at this point, I think if you're Texas, it's hit it and quit it and call timeout.
Yeah.
Because you need more points and the more jams. Again, if you get a power jam, throw that out the window and run it.
But without a power jam, if you've got somebody chasing you down, you probably don't want to run it because you could just match each other point for point.
Teams that are behind need timeouts. And Texas is behind and has timeouts.
Did you hear that?
I barely heard it. So they're telling the House announcers basically that the official review was not accepted. I think they were looking for some sort of block.
It sounded like they were looking for a back block on a jammer.
And we're underway. So Arrakis versus Switchcraft. Nobody's gotten to the pivot stripe, and I mean none of the 10 skaters
have hit that pivot line. New York blocker headed to the penalty box.
Jag wearing the stripe for New York.
A little bit of a tumble up at the front with Arrakis, who's trying to find that space and does so.
But is not lead. No pass, no penalty.
So they will not be eligible for lead.
And New York doesn't know that because Jag just took the star.
This is going to be a 2-minute jam whether Texas wants it to be or not. So they're going to go with their strategy. Arrakis getting pushed out 1 foot, hitting that outside line and having to come back.
Yep. Whereas if Switchcraft holds on to it, gets lead, is in control then. All right, so Jag is through, but that's... So both teams have tallied 4, but yeah, this jam's going to run the full 2, which means we're going to be done at roughly 50 seconds remaining. So again, Texas sitting on all those timeouts, can't even use them. I mean, they'll be able to use 1 to keep it at 50, but unless Jag commits a jammer penalty, if they just go point for point, this isn't helping.
They're not currently going point for point. Arrakis has outscored New York 12-4. Jag is really going to want to figure out how to get some space here and get out as Arrakis comes in on another scoring pass.
Yeah, I mean, Jag has some points from this scoring pass, but hasn't cleared the pack. And again, we're at 18, 17, 16 on the jam clock.
Arrakis getting slowed down. Also has some points, I think, in the pocket right now.
Right.
But definitely going to be wanting some more as this game is getting even closer.
Right. So both jammers go down, and the jam comes to an end. Again, I think additional points are going to be awarded.
Everybody kind of just taking a second to make sure they're okay as that jam comes to an end. That was tough physically on everybody.
Looks like points have been awarded. Texas not using a timeout.
Oh, Texas should be using a timeout right now. I totally would. Oh.
Whoa. Now New York used a timeout.
That's interesting.
It is. But
New York ahead by 3. 22 seconds left in this game.
Ugh.
Whoever this lead jammer is in this next jam is going to be incredibly important.
And again, double-digit scoring jam.
All right, if you're New York and you get lead jammer, do you just want to call it immediately?
No, I mean, you got to pull 22 seconds off the clock.
Oh, yeah, because Texas can still use that penalty, right?
Texas has every timeout in the world.
Right. Especially since one of them didn't get recorded. Well, that's what we think. We never know for sure.
We could be wrong. But again, I saw the Texas code making...
Yeah. We always defer to the officials. So, okay, New York needs to burn 22 seconds and maintain the lead if they are lead. If Texas gets lead, they're going to want to score at least 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, they can't match point for point.
No.
But because it's a 3-point margin, if they go 4-0, they've got it.
Yep.
So it's She-Devil versus Eliminator, and these two have been both very talented for their respective teams. But yeah, if She-Devil gets it, if She-Devil gets lead, it's over. And if Eliminator gets lead, it's a race for points. We're at 9, we're at 8, we're at 7 on the period clock.
5 seconds.
5, 4. The period clock has expired.
There is no lead jammer. As Eliminator is trying to push that pack to the front, trying to get a lead jam for Texas.
Kill Valentine is the pivot in this, the final jam. New York loses the hammer. Eliminator inches away from getting lead. But then you can, if you just come back and you get She-Devil through.
Eliminator has one blocker to get past at the front. Pulling that blocker out. Will not get a no pack until she gets to 20 feet.
So Texas has lead. If you get She-Devil through, you match them point for point. So this is a matter of
Texas needs to get these 4 points.
If Texas gets these 4 points, they win because they can call it off.
As long as She-Devil isn't out and has scored any points.
And
Texas is through.
Call it off.
44 seconds left. They are ahead
They're
by
running
1
it.
point. No, are they running it?
They're running it.
Texas is running it.
The Star's been passed to Star Valentine. They could win it.
Texas calls it. Texas gets the win by 1 point. 1 point win. Oh my goodness. I think my heart just, that was some amazing roller derby. I think, Ken, are you speechless?
It's so again, Texas had to get lead. They had to score 4 points. Then they had to call it off, and they didn't. They ran for a little while.
They waited,
and Kill actually got the star, I think.
Yes, Kill did get the star.
So.
Oh, we have to choose an MVP. We're the ones who have to choose the MVP. We haven't even talked about it.
We haven't talked about it.
Oh, wait, no, it's them. They're going to choose it. The house announcers. Great, because they were all amazing to me.
Wow.
Everyone is my MVP.
So I would, and again, we might not have a vote in this. I'd give it to Eliminator, because you know what? If she doesn't execute that final jam,
yep.
And obviously New York is putting out their best set of blockers, and Eliminator was devastating.
Yep.
But
I completely agree with you. I think that
they gave it to Jackie Daniels.
I think that win definitely. Eliminator was amazing in that final jam, and I think Eliminator is going to be our MVP. Jackie Daniels gets the house MVP. On the New York side, I really loved She-Devil. She-Devil was so delightful to watch.
Yeah.
Kill Valentine did so much work.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I started keeping track of Kill Valentine's just on-track activity. Is I began to wonder whether or not Kill Valentine was the most important member of the team.
Absolutely.
And she did jam. She was the pivot in 6 of the final 12. So obviously was in heavy rotation. But hats off to Texas. They were down by 16 at about the 8-minute mark and put up 2 double-digit scoring jams.
That was a wonderful game.
To get within 3 to then win it on the final jam.
So wonderful. Well, this has been just a fun game to announce with you, Kent. Again, I'm Aria from Derby Date Night. We have just enjoyed this tonight with you, and we will be live again in just a few minutes for our next game, which is the semifinal 2 champs, Team Philippines and Team Pennsylvania. We'll be right back.